to the unofficial Disney Tonight Show podcast. If there's one thing this world definitely does not have enough of, it's podcasts. So into the breach steps comedian David Studebaker and his zany band of sidekicks to bring you a multimedia experience unlike anything the world has ever seen.
Please welcome my friend, your host, Mr. David Studebaker.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, James. We're going to have fun, and we're going to talk about the previous episode. We're going to talk about the episode coming up. We're going to tell some fun stories. The first thing I'm going to just say before I bring on the rest of the team, there's something that I hope people noticed in our last episode that James was doing. And it looks like in the episode, James is just pounding beers the whole time. It looks like James is like a fall down drunk, and like he's just getting, he's like going for it full force. But those are not beers. What are those?
Those are water. It's a water company called Liquid Death, which might actually be worse sounding than like if I was drinking like Coors Light or something. But it's called Liquid Death. It's actually my favorite water. And they're in cans, so they're easy to recycle. They're better than having
environmentally friendly. I like it.
Better than being plastic and stuff like that. And then one of my kids' friends saw the case of it and it was like, "Did you buy beer?" And I'm like, "Why would I buy beer? It's not a beer. It's water." So they might want to change some things on there.
James doesn't drink, so it's just so funny because especially knowing James, the fact that he'd be there just shotgunning, just taking him down. But now we have unofficial Disney Tonight Show mugs. So we'll still, maybe James will still pound some fake beers for us.
I drink them at night before I go to bed because I feel refreshed. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, hey, nothing like a good Liquid Death guzzle before bed, just to really, that is the most James Creviston thing. Like, that is so you. We're going to keep it rolling. I'm going to bring on my co-host, the co-host who doesn't even like to co-host. We're going to bring on Luke LaCoy. Come on, Luke. We got a story to tell. There's Grumpy. There is Grumpy. Luke's trying to redeem himself because he has a SpongeBob background on his screen. So at least he's bringing the Grumpy mug, which is one of the best mugs I've ever seen. Nothing better than a Disneyland mug. But we were going to tell a story about an experience we had at a Bakersfield hotel. But it was a locally owned hotel. I guess it's kind of notorious there. But I will say, number one, driving up, the thing we saw in big, giant marquee, it said every Thursday night is ladies' night at the bar, and it's free bull riding. So that really is a perk. So all this with a grain of salt, because if you want some free bull riding, if you're a lady, this is your place. But right off the bat, what was funny is half the hotel had been renovated. But I guess they ran out of money midway through. We were in the non-renovated side of the hotel. The hallway, they had stripped all the flooring and the paint was and it was all red. So you're in this it actually kind of inspired in Lone Star Lance, my novel, the blood red hotel hallway in it was kind of inspired by that hallway. But it was just, it was weird and run down and red. And so I'll let you guys say your room. Was this the first time Luke and James, you guys had slept in the same room together?
Yeah.
That sounds a little odd. So
we had separate beds. beds.
So I had a feeling that James would be a snorer based on the audio I heard from his camera stuff. Sometimes the breathing would get on the audio. I'm like, I'm a light sleeper and I'm a diva, so I'm going to need to get my own room. But Luke, being the tough Canadian he is, Luke's so easygoing, and normally Luke will go for anything. Luke's like, "Oh no, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll save the money. I'll hang. We'll be good." Luke didn't sleep a wink.
Oh really?
night.
Oh, I feel bad.
No, I got no sleep that whole night.
I'm sorry. I slept like a baby. Like a baby.
Baby. James had a great time. You guys want to describe what you went through in your room?
So okay. Okay, just to start this, we always end up in these situations because David likes to use Priceline.
Hotwire.
Hotwire.
Yeah, Hotwire. Because,
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Yeah,
not.
What's funny about Hotwire is they you know, if you know, you get they say like, okay, you get a 4-star hotel. We're not going to tell you which one, but it'll be one of these 5 options. And so they'll put like Embassy Suites and the Marriott, and then in tiny little letters, they'll put that hotel that we ended up in.
It's the Russian roulette of hotel rental, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So every story
exactly.
we've been telling has been a 4-star, like hotel. So just
Hey, I will say the Airbnb wasn't my fault. I didn't even want to go Airbnb. That was not me.
all right, that was my fault. So we got in the room, and then James, I think he ran into the bathroom. I was kind of like, and I have all my camera equipment, so I'm just nervous. Like I was trying to hide it in the room. And so like James comes out, he's like, "Hey, I don't think the toilet is bolted to the wall." And it's like it's shaking. It's like freestanding.
Well, and then James, when you sat down on the toilet, you fell forward.
Yeah, it comes down. I was like, what is going on? But then, not only that though, there was a giant line of ants. All
Yeah, you guys were infested with
what is
ants.
happening right now? Yeah,
You guys, and you know how ants are. If they get like in your luggage, they come home with you. So
everything.
you guys had like a souvenir of an ant colony in your luggage. I just love the image of James. Just because James is a strong dude. He needs some support on that toilet, and he just completely flops forward.
I thought I broke it. I was like, oh no, but then I was like, oh no, it's not even bolted down. Like it's not.
Just didn't. They're just. You know what I think happened?
Just on the ground.
Here's my theory. I think the contracting company they hired, like they were in some contract dispute, and literally what it felt like is midway through one of the days of them renovating, they just walked off on strike.
Yep.
And they're just
agreed.
like, this is just done. So yeah. So
enjoy your unbolted toilet in there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna welcome in Mando now. There she is. Hey, Mando, welcome. Yeah, there she is. Okay, fairly regularly, we're gonna have you tell a crazy Florida story of your time as a bounty hunter there. So, do you have one for us this week?
I do have one for you guys. It's a good one. My grandmother lives 15 minutes away from me, which is such a blessing because I love my grandmother with like all of my heart. Florida is known, of course, for all the crazy hurricanes we have. And a hurricane was coming around the corner. We could see like it was coming in the next couple of days. My grandmother lives in this huge community, about like I'd say over 1,000 mobile homes. And mobile homes are like something super normal in Florida. There's like tons of mobile home parks everywhere, especially where she lives. I don't understand Florida in the fact that mobile home parks are like the worst thing to have because Florida is such a hurricane state.
That's true. Like if there's one place I don't want to be in a hurricane, it's in a mobile home.
Exactly.
It's a ride at Walt Disney. It's a ride at Walt Disney World.
You went to Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to welcome to Ride in the Hurricane.
Yeah.
I'll take that over Soarin any day of the week.
If we did like an off-brand theme park, I feel like Florida mobile home would be like the best thrill ride.
It would be the absolute best. So my grandmother and her cat, she came to live with us for a couple of days because we knew it was going to be so bad, the hurricane. So thankfully the hurricane went and gone. And, we were like, okay, let's go back to your neighborhood and let's go, we take her back home. We go there. Every house, is ripped to shreds. Everything is like, it's like a sardine can just getting crushed in. Every house around. But thankfully, the house next to her and the 2 houses on the side of her got crushed in. For whatever reason, her house was perfect. Not anything wrong with her house.
And I'm sorry for everyone else. I'm glad Grams is okay. That's kind of a depressing story. I'm happy for your grandma, but that is very Florida. That's funny.
Coming to Magic Kingdom, mobile homing over Florida.
Yeah.
The funniest part of the story was that my grandmother didn't want to leave her house. She's like, oh, it wouldn't be that bad. I was like,
no. Oh, your grandma's a savage.
Grandma was ready to go on that ride. Grandma was ready to go on that ride.
She was ready for whatever.
Let's do this.
Grandma's like, I'm an Imagineer. This is product research. All right, Jake, you want to come on?
Yeah, let's do this. let's see how long it takes for my
Jake,
camera
don't
to
sound
start.
so
Get
excited.
excited. Wow. Okay.
There we go.
I'll get on the camera.
Jake, I apologize for inconveniencing you this evening and making you talk and come on camera. I love it. Between Jake and Luke, it's just nothing but enthusiasm here. So, Jake, you mentioned that you had a great Jeff Goldblum story.
I love Jeff Goldblum. A few years ago, I found out that he's in a band, like a jazz band, and he performs at like this one place all the time in LA. I would like constantly try to get tickets, and eventually I got tickets for me and my friend for January 1st, 2020. So it's the start of a new year. We thought it was going to be great, right?
Yeah, 2020, that's our year. That's everyone's year. It was going to be great.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna do it this year.
So that afternoon we drove down to LA, and I was like, if we can try to meet him, that'd be cool, but I'm not gonna like get my hopes up or anything. We pull up to the parking lot and we get out of the car, and we're just on the side of the road. We're like, okay, we can't get in the place yet. And then there's this black car over in the corner. I can see like through the window, there's this like side figure with a hat, and the door swings open and a very tall Jeff Goldblum steps out of the car, and I'm like, oh no, because I'm like not expecting this like that early on. And he walks over and he like looks at me and he like waves or whatever, and I'm like, oh, like I like actually made that
Jake's
noise.
cries.
I was like, seriously. I'm like, hi, and he like laughs and he goes into the place. So I call my mom. That's the first thing I think to do. And I'm like, Mom, guess what? Because she kept telling me, you're not going to meet him. Like, she's like, don't get your hopes up because it's probably not going to happen. So I call her. I'm like, guess who I just met? And my friend's like, dude, you need to calm down. Because there's like people walking by us. And I'm like yelling because I'm like in a different world right now.
Jake's awesome Jeff Goldblum stories. He got arrested meeting Jeff Goldblum.
Don't leave me, Jeff. Don't leave me.
Jake now has a restraining order with Jeff Goldblum.
So we go to Starbucks, get our drink or whatever, and we go to the show. It's fantastic. It's jazz. Halfway through, he's like, okay, I'm gonna walk around, take some pictures with you. And he has like the microphone with him, and he's like singing as he's like taking pictures with people. It's like super cool. And when you see Jeff Goldblum in movies and he's like the same guy in every single movie, that's exactly how he is in real life. He like, that's him. That's just how he acts. So I'm like, can we get a picture? And he's like, oh, sure. And we take a picture.
That's a stellar Jeff Goldblum. I've never heard a better Jeff Goldblum than that. He'll be so complimented. If we ever get him on the show, we're going to have to play that clip of her.
So we take a picture with him, and I actually have the picture on my Instagram. And so he finishes the show, and then we leave. And then we're getting in our car and we run into him again.
Oh, wow.
Because his car was like parked next to ours.
Is this a cry for help? Jake, are you stalking Jeff Goldblum? I feel like it's like, and I just randomly saw him in the shower of his home. It was like, I keep bumping into him, and it like, it was weird
in his closet.
basement.
Yeah, I didn't know how I got there.
It's funny.
Like I was on his
that.
roof, and I was peeking, I was drilling a hole through his ceiling, and it was like, what is Chance meeting here?
It's funny you say that because we had dinner at my friend's grandma's place like an hour before, and she's like, if he's weird and you're like, you're scared or anything, don't feel afraid to like call me or anything. I'm like, it's not like some creepy guy. It's just Jeff Goldblum.
She thought you were going to be kidnapped by Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. When in actuality, she should have been warning Jeff Goldblum about you. Also, if you heard any fun noises in the background, my son pooped. So that is a diaper change going on in the background. So we're going to play some of the clips. We're just going to revisit because we did an after party. We filmed an after party. So if you come to our live shows, we'll do an after party, but most of that is just for the live audience. So there's exclusive stuff. However, certain things happen that we have to talk about on air. So first off, James happened to really luck out, and our special guest just happened to have the same very controversial hot take that James has about one of my all-time rides on the planet, Soarin'. So now I will say Justin, our guest, Justin Washington, he didn't like Soarin' over California, which actually to me is worse because actually Soarin' over California was better than Soarin' Around the World, in my opinion. But James, you want to give your hot take and talk about your feelings on Soarin'?
Okay, so it's called Soarin', first of all, right? So you should feel like you're in a hang glider. You're not. You're in a chair that you can literally just slip out of and fall to your death on, right? That's number one. Two, when you also are on it, like, then you end up like on a river raft and like, it's not Soarin'. It should just be called Journey Around California or Journey Around the World, not Soarin', because it's not Soarin'. The only part of it Soarin' is you're like dangling in the air, like, okay, here goes. This is the end of my life right here. And I'm a big dude. I was holding on to everything. All there is like a little belt, like I'm on an airplane, you know? It just takes that little belt and there you go, you're out of there. But no, it wasn't Soarin'. It's like, it should be called like Journey Around the World or Journey Around California.
So your problem with it is partially semantics, that they didn't brand it properly.
Yes.
But
yes.
The funny thing, I will give you this. Now, to me, Soarin', I'll give a counter argument. Soarin' is the most delightful ride because it's just the smells of, especially when it's California, the smells of the orange groves. And it's just, I love that feeling of flying. And so to get that immediacy and get to experience everything like that, I find just delightful. Also, the soundtrack to Soarin', that music, I could listen to just over and over. I actually do listen to it over and over. I have it on my iTunes.
To be fair, I've only ridden it once because that was enough for me. I was like, this is terrible. I'm never doing this again. This is the worst.
So, okay.
Well,
maybe someday we'll do an episode at California Adventure and we'll get you to do it again.
No, I won't ride it. It's the most unsafe ride in Disney. And you're tilted, right? So you're like in the thing. And it's just an airline safety belt. I'm like, that's not gonna, I'm a big dude. That's going bye-bye. I'm holding on for dear life on that thing. Like, okay, here we go. You know,
I mean, especially after your experience on the toilet in Bakersfield. I understand.
You can just go. Yeah.
The nice thing about our live shows is we can ask the audience and we can get their opinion on things. So we asked the audience, and I think we have. I'm gonna play a clip of what we have. I'm gonna share the poll results. Absolute vindication. 92% of the audience said yes, they do enjoy Soarin' Around the World. And 92% say yes, 25% say no. I think that's because some of the people have left. Either that or Zoom does not know how to do percentages.
I want to say usually I disagree with James, but in this one, I 100% agree with you. I absolutely hate Soarin'.
Thank you.
No. Wow. Yeah. This may be the first time in the history of this show, both on air and off, that Mando is against me and with James. This is a wow. I'll never forget where I was when this moment happened. Mark this down in history.
Me and my mom, when we first went on, which was the first and last time I'll ever go on that ride, we were terrified.
You guys were screaming like you were screaming like Jake when he met Jeff Goldblum. That's how frightened you were.
Woo! Woo!
As always, the final word goes to Luke. How do you feel about Soarin'?
I love Soarin'.
Yes.
It's but I mean, it makes sense.
Everything you love. That's not fair.
I will say, so far, whenever there's a question on stuff, Luke's been agreeing with me more than Mando. So I love you, Luke. Thank you, buddy.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense that someone who's drinking liquid death would not like Soarin'. It's like it's the opposite of, you know, this serene coastal vacation of a ride, but.
That is a great point.
And no one has died on Soarin', so
true.
There's that.
That we know of. Disney's gonna tell you stuff. Come on, that we know of.
Great point, Luke. The next clip we're gonna play is from our Q&A session. Again, if you're at the live show, you'll get to see all of the Q&A answers for our guest when the audience gets to ask them. We're not even going to play any of the actual questions this time because, again, we're short on time. We're just going to play my favorite moment of the entire night which was Mando reading the first Q&A question. Oh, it's beautiful. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm gonna have to come real close because it's tinted in
This
here.
is so mean.
This one is asked by I think her name is Lane. Lane.
It's a man. Lane Shapiro is a man. That's the captain.
Oh, sorry.
From
Shapiro.
I'm sorry.
Just read the name.
You know what I love is Lane loves to roast people, so that actually makes me so happy.
So sorry.
We got
He's been
this.
so nice to me.
We got this broad named Lane asking a question.
I'm
From
so
New
sorry,
Jersey.
and he's been so nice to me in the chat. Thanks, Mando.
See how red her face is through the helmet?
Yeah.
The helmet is vibrating with embarrassment right now. Oh, Mando, that was beautiful. No, hey, Mando, there is no shame in your game. That was the best moment of the whole night. That was so fantastic. Like, and of all the people, the fact that it was Lane was like the perfect person that you could have done that to. He's like as manly as James. And so to picture him as like this, we got this lady named Lane. The previous argument from the last show was a Marvel argument, which I'm going to play. But within it, what I love is how quickly Justin left. Like as soon as you guys started arguing, he just bounced immediately. So let me play that real quick. So I did promise James that he would get to argue with someone.
Usually it's you.
Usually it's me. Thankfully, Mando and I, we tend to agree on things. So now Mando has taken the mantle. I've had years of wars with James. So, I'm kind of retired, but she's jumping into the fray. So this kind of started on a meeting we had, a Marvel question. The discussion opened of who is the physically strongest of the Avengers.
I think Captain America is the strongest Avenger because if you think back to Infinity War, Hulk got scared. Everybody was like knocked away by Thanos, but Captain America legit fought Thanos. And then at the end of Endgame, where before all the heroes came, you had Iron Man thrown to the side, you had Thor thrown to the side, and then who was there? Captain America literally picked up the hammer and fought Thanos. And then he got back up, and then he got
Notice
back
Justin
up when
just
he was
completely
beaten up
losing
by
interest.
Thanos, while everybody else was knocked out.
I think he's
Got back
asleep.
up by himself and was about to fight all of Thanos' army. Captain America is the strongest Avenger.
All right, that's a good.
And really quick, we're gonna
go ahead, Jake.
Justin said he's got to go.
All right, Justin, thank you so much.
Make it to 9. He's gotta go.
Hey, listen, I got hard out at 8:59.
Like, you guys started arguing about Marvel, and I'm like, well, this is a waste of my time. So I'm gonna jet. But thank you, Justin. You were an absolutely amazing guest.
It's Thor.
It is not. It is not Thor. It is actually the Incredible Hulk. He has all the massive strength. He is also the only one besides Thanos who was able to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. He was able to fight massive amounts of enemies more than any other Avenger.
You mentioned the gauntlet. Before he put it on, he mentioned the only reason he's better to do it than Thor is because of the gamma radiation.
So it still makes him stronger.
Thor fought the Hulk in Ragnarok, didn't he?
Yeah, and who won?
Thor.
No.
No,
Hulk
Jeff
beat the crap out of him
Goldblum-
at first.
Jeff Goldblum cheated and electrocuted Thor and put him to sleep.
But who
That's
was
Thor
winning
would've
before
won.
that? Who was winning before that?
No, Thor pretty much had a
Thor was
hold
winning.
over him before
Hulk
the
was-
shocking.
Hulk was
Oh,
whacking him.
James. Oh, man. James is on the ropes, guys. I've never said this is a rare occasion.
We actually got him this time.
Wow.
Yeah. Good job, Jake.
This is like Ali getting. Ali's been. He's cut, guys. Bring in the cut man. He's got. Luke, do you want to be the deciding vote?
Am I the deciding vote between the two?
Between the three,
Two?
there's three.
There's
They're talking
three.
about 3, buddy. There, Luke. One thing for the if you didn't watch the Meet the Team, Luke doesn't really listen through most of this. He kind of just zones out. So, dear, it was Captain America, it was Thor, and it was the Hulk, sweetie.
Okay. No Dodge Avenger.
No, what?
Dodge Avenger. That's a.
Way to stick the
It's-
landing, Luke.
it was
That's
a
my
captain
guy.
joke.
That's
It
my
was a
guy,
captain
Luke
joke,
McCoy.
okay?
You can always count on Luke.
No, I would go with Captain America.
James,
You know what I
What's
love? You know what I love? I love it. Thank you, Luke. I feel like every time Luke just
Luke
ends
is
up
now
agreeing with
muted.
Mando and I, whether or
Now
not
muted.
he wasn't even listening,
Yes,
but
we-
his default is like, and he just muted
Muted.
himself. That's hilarious. Luke's default is like, God, I stopped listeling after what Mando and David were saying, so let me just go with them.
Yeah, tactical
Mando.
advantage.
Thank you, Luke. Beautiful work as always. Now, show and tell. Yes. Thank you, Mando.
Welcome to
we are-
kindergarten, folks. Show and
Yes.
tell.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the kindergarten portion before Mando jumps in. I'm gonna do my
Oh.
side show and tell. This little snuggle
going-
pads. Look
Hold
at
on.
this. Look at this shirt.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear, baby.
Yay.
You press the button and it makes the noise. Can you say
No.
to infinity and beyond? Matthew. Oh, he's bashful. He does like his Buzz Lightyear voice. He just goes, he just growls. Okay, Mando, you're up for show and tell. It's your turn.
Well, the newest thing and the coolest to my collection is Galaxy Edge Ahsoka lightsabers from
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Nice.
They are extremely heavy because they're made out of like actual steel and stuff, and they come in this cute little crate. Right here.
Oh, wow.
Is
That
it two of them? Is it both of them? The short one and the long one?
Here's the short one,
Oh, nice.
and I have the long one with the blade in it.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Is it white or blue?
It's white. I
It
thought.
just looks blue on camera. I spent too much money on them, but I love them.
I like how she stopped herself from saying how much she spent.
Yeah.
I spent my college tuition on these.
Half my
The
student
refund
loans
came
just
in
went to
just
that.
in time.
The question is, if you take that to a Florida Walmart, will you be safe? How effective is
That's
that?
the only way she goes to the Florida Walmart now.
Yeah, she's just
No,
swinging the
get out of the
Ahsokas.
way.
What do you want?
Well, give Mando a hand. That's fantastic show and tell. Jake doesn't look very impressed. Jake,
I have a lightsaber too.
I feel like Jake's never impressed. Jake's like, you know what I feel like? I feel like Jake is like James and I's like nephew, who no matter what we do, or like younger cousin, no matter what we do, he still thinks we're not cool at all. Like no matter
I'm very
what,
cool, Jake. I'm very
never
cool.
be cool in Jake's
cool.
eyes.
Jake's cooler than all of us. He's got like $1 bajillion worth of Pokemon cards.
Yes,
I have a
speaking
bit
of
of
dropping
a-
the stimulus checks,
Yeah.
he's got it all. The next episode on Saturday, January 30th, you can watch live, and then it'll be released the following Wednesday. But we have my guy Casey Adler. He's been in Bunheads a bunch of times on Freeform. He's really an amazing actor. To me, he's one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. Like he is so freaking talented. So that does it for the show. Thank you guys. Very excited about January 30th. Thank you, James. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Mando. We are the unofficial Disney Tonight Show. See you soon.